It's now or never. It's now or never. We're halfway through the decade. Halfway through the decade. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I'm still working on stuff from like last decade. I'm still working on stuff from last decade. It's like, when am I going to get it done? When am I going to finish it? When am I going to at least start it? So these are the things that are on my mind a lot with this whole situation. Yeah, it does take a while. It does take a lot of internal change, a lot of mental change, a lot of habitual change. Habitual for sure. But, it's better to get started than not get started, because, it's just one step at a time. I have to remind myself too, it takes one step. It takes just a little momentum. And it's happened with me like this before, where once I do one little small thing, like I get this energy burst to do like the bigger thing, the next step and the next step. And it's just, next thing you know, the whole project's completed. So I just got to be more persistent, more consistent on that small little detail. And it does take a while. I'm not gonna lie, it does take a while. It's getting out of your comfort zone. It might be letting go of a few comforts of some things that you're attached to, or some things that you're expecting. Maybe a favorite show, a certain time of day where certain things happen. You might be meeting up with family, friends, or maybe it's a day where you're just part of the day where you're very tired, and that's the only time you can get it done. And you got to find a way to be awake and energized and disciplined at that moment, so it don't happen. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go this way. So yeah, it comes down to us. It comes down to us, and there's a lot of talk, about the New Year's resolutions, and it's just like, well, I've been that person that says they're gonna do it and doesn't do it. So I had to change. I had to start early. I had to make sacrifices and literally just detach from things and learn to live without them. Live without some comforts. Live without some expectations and some easiness. We all like easiness. We all like simple-handed stuff, easy go, but it just doesn't work like that. It actually is detrimental. Imagine if your favorite sports player for your favorite team just takes it easy at practice, takes it easy here, takes it easy there. Guess what happens? They're not as fast, they're not as strong, they're not as mentally aligned. They might drop the ball, lose the ball, all these things. All these things could happen. All these things that does not allow them to perform their best. That doesn't allow them to execute at a level that's needed for them to continue to succeed. Because they're addicted to their comforts. They're not doing their routine. They're not doing their work, their training. And we got to do ours. I'm not saying we're professional sports players. I mean, we all have to stick to a routine. We all have to do our training. We all have areas to get better at. We all have areas that we want to improve on. It's just we keep putting the pause button. We keep waiting for the right time. And I'm guilty of it. 100%. Absolutely. 100% I am guilty of it. And, there's some consistency I lacked. Like, one of the ones I realized was that, like, I don't record as much as in the gym as I should. It's like I realized, like, just recently, like, oh, damn, I don't record as much in the gym as I should. And I told myself last year I was going to do it. And it's just, there's times that I've done it and there's times that I've not. And it's been all over the place. But you know what? Small steps. The steps I've taken is better than no steps at all. And, same thing with these walks. It's like, sometimes I don't want to walk. Sometimes I want to sit down and drink my coffee, right? Sometimes I want to look up this video and research this and study that. It just doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. I have to stay in the routine. I have to stay dedicated to the vision, you know. But easier said than done. Easier said than done. Sticking to the vision. But, you know, we all have our obstacles. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our misunderstandings. We all have our just lacks and just misses and just sloppiness and it just doesn't stop. It's all over the place. But, you know, we just keep getting up and we just continue going. You know, I think that's why they call it a new year, just another restart, another opportunity to do better, another opportunity to start, you know. So for those that have been chiming in, sending me messages, dropping comments, all that stuff, you know, appreciate you listening in. A lot of learning and growing, you know, a lot more patience, a lot more understanding for myself and for others, you know, more patient at work, more understanding at work, life, family, you know, all that good stuff. And we just keep growing, you know. No one likes the roots, no one likes the seeds, and it takes time to see that fruit, to see that plant just sprout and blossom itself into what they call it, fruit. Was it labor of, no, your fruits of your labor. Damn, I need more coffee. Your fruits of your labor. And, you know, we want it instantly, but, you know, it takes time. We got to wait a little bit sometimes. We got to be patient. We got to wait for the right time, the right moment to lay down the hammer, to let them know, to take that action, right? That bigger step too. You know, I don't want to get mixed up because we could all take an action now, but what I meant with that is there's certain actions that have to happen at certain times in order for it to be quality, to be impactful, and to be precise. So, you know, it's a work in progress. We just get better. And yeah, you know, this is second, third week, pretty cold out. It's gonna be cold probably the next 2.5 months. And there's some projects that are underway. They're getting better. They're being assembled. The plan. I mean, everything is it's about getting better. You know, you'll never be perfect, but again, you just be better. And that's what I'm aiming for. Because everything, I'm all messed up. It's like everything I vision, it's like it has to be this way. And then when I don't see it that way, I get distracted, I get annoyed, I get impatient. But yeah, I just said that whole situation with the seed. We gotta plant the seed and take some time to have it sprout to your expectation, to your vision. You know, we gotta water it. We gotta give it some nice soil, some sun, and some air, some Mother Earth, and you know, do its thing. But we gotta do our part. We gotta have our understanding that it's gonna take some time. Things need to come together so it can come into fruition. So that's the video for this one. Yeah, stay tuned, stay locked in. Hopefully what I have coming down the pipeline is inspiring and uplifting to those that are watching. I like that the channel is started from 0 and I'm just growing it, just 1 subscriber at a time. You know, it's just no Instagram, no TikTok yet, no Facebook, of course. Is there another one? What is it, Threads and Snapchat? But yeah, you know, just gonna stick it here for now. Gonna get better with these videos and just make it better. So wishing you all well, a happy new year. And let's get it, you know, let's get it. You know, if your favorite team is on in the Super Bowl, there is no reason for you to be drinking and eating pizza and carne asada. You know, if you're gonna be watching the Bad Bunny halftime, and all right, fine, that makes sense. Don't forget, you could also watch it recorded on YouTube later that day. But there should be no excess food and drinking if your team's not in it. You know, that's part of the sacrifice. You know, it's like, have your limits, have your boundaries. So, all right, I'll let y'all be. On to the next. Peace.